when you need a straight line to cut a pipe, you wrap around a piece of paper, line it up perfect. But along the way, that occurred to me that that was how to find a straight line on a spirit also. Line that up exactly with the route that the tropical cyclone, there's cyclones in the southern hemisphere, and it would be a hurricane in the northern hemisphere, but line that up right exactly with the direction that it's that easy. And even the landfall it made when it kissed Mozambique here, in my earlier alert, I had even sent out an earlier one, if you go and follow it that way, Los Angeles. Where the problem comes in is Mozambique got a 7.5 earthquake with a foreshock. And that is my go straight theory, that's my wraparound, and that is how you track seismic energy everywhere in the world. During the month of September 2004, we were getting hit by numerous major hurricanes down in the region around the state of Florida. Those hurricanes were Francis, Jean, and finally Ivan. Ivan, I know, went up this way, but Francis and Jean crossed this way. And on a Sunday night, I realized that Francis and Jean, Hurricane Francis and Jean, sent seismic energy this way, but Hurricane Ivan sent seismic energy this way. On a Sunday night, I realized that when you figure in the seismic energy from Hurricane Francis and Jean and Ivan, they all pointed to California. And on a Sunday night, I put out EQ Alert California because it looked to me like the seismic energy from all three of those storms was headed for California. Put that out on a Sunday night, and the Parkfield quake happened that Tuesday. It was December 2003 that a major tropical cyclone named Debbie with 200-mile-an-hour winds struck Australia right here. This is Australia, drawing out of my manuscript. Cyclone Debbie hit here, going this direction, more or less you could say due west. I had my earthquake alert theory, go straight theory, straight line theory, all perfected, and I was proud that when Cyclone Debbie with 200-mile-an-hour winds went this direction, it didn't take me long at all to send out an EQ alert for Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Rio de Janeiro. Sent that out. This was a real easy one. There was going to be a very good size earthquake because that was a huge tropical cyclone. Well, then that evening after I sent it out, I just to research how big of earthquakes does Sao Paulo, Brazil get, and Rio de Janeiro. Well, it didn't take long to research. They don't get any earthquakes, and I knew something was wrong. And it wasn't too long down the road before, bam, Iran got the earthquake. Up here, like upwards of 8 magnitude. Maybe. I knew that somehow Cyclone Debbie sent energy west, but I didn't know why the earthquake was up here. I was 8,000 miles off that day, and I spent a month studying it, literally doing nothing but staring at maps like this and maps of fault lines and this map and that map to see where I went wrong, what I overlooked, why that big giant storm was here going this way and the earthquake was way up here. Well, what I found after studying, as I explained, is this Indo-Australian tectonic plate is curved. On December 3rd, 2004, there was a really huge super typhoon by the name of Nanmadol. Struck Taiwan. From there, I tracked the seismic activity up through Norway, Greenland, the mid-Atlantic, through Santiago, Chile, and boy, I stayed on this one because Super Typhoon Nanmadol was so strong, so powerful, and did so much damage it like leveled half of the island of Taiwan, that I knew I was tracking a major seismic energy. Then the Pacific Antarctic fault line, and it was getting so close to Christmas that I hated to send out an EQ alert for a major earthquake, until there was an 8.1 foreshock Macquarie Island, December 23rd, 2004. Macquarie Island is right here at the bottom of the Indian Ocean Australian tectonic plate. When I had tracked the energy from Typhoon Nanmadol all the way around the world and wound up at Macquarie Island, and knew it was going to be severe, and Macquarie Island had an 8.1, was when I guessed that the Indian Ocean Australian tectonic plate must have turned at this point. This must have been a slip fault down here. If that had been a thrust fault and an 8.1 Richter's earthquake would have hit that fault line from this direction, that would have been a major tsunami. And I was even wondering at that point why there was no tsunami alert for down in this region. Well, I checked on the internet, and this shore of Australia, like around Melbourne, I think that is, doesn't even get tsunamis. Never historically, other than a couple of tiny ones. That told me that this was a slip fault. Plate probably moved this way, and in the EQ alert that I sent out, because of these are all the microplate region, Japan is up here. In order by population, I put out my EQ alert, big EQ alert, big in the subject line, big EQ alert, Japan, China, Indonesia, and the Philippines. And I had especially concerned about this spot here called the Java Ridge, because if it's going to move this way, it's going to shake these islands dramatically. And this is the alert that was sent out that day. I don't know if this is going to work for TV or not, but you can kind of see it there. Big EQ alert, and it's going out December 24th, 2004. December 24th, 2004, 8:33 a.m. Big EQ alert. Goes on to say, be expecting a big earthquake in the range of 6.9 to 10 Richter's magnitude to strike Japan, China, Luzon, and Indonesia. And this was December 24th, 8:33 a.m. Should be in the next couple days. Here's an actual copy of that big EQ alert that I sent out just prior to the Sumatra earthquake and tsunami of 2004. The way I discussed the movement of the Indian Ocean Australian tectonic plate in this EQ alert is how I expect we will now be forecasting earthquakes in our future. The biggest earthquake of recent history struck near Sumatra, Indonesia, the next day. Scene 13, take 1. Following Hurricane Katrina making landfall at New Orleans and Louisiana and Biloxi, Mississippi, I tracked the seismic energy from that storm to head due north. It went due north along about the 90th longitude. Coincidentally, there was a major typhoon that hit Taiwan, sending its seismic energy due westerly. And the typhoon Long Long sent its energy due west, and it crossed the path of the theoretical seismic energy from Hurricane Katrina at Islamabad, Pakistan, or just north of there. The problem is I don't know anybody in Pakistan, and so there's no possible way that I know of to send out any kind of an alert, or the thought had occurred to me to send out EQ alert Islamabad. But it would have gone to a couple of people in Alaska, somebody in Boston, and one guy in LA, and somebody in San Francisco. And there's only so much a guy can do. Unfortunately, 43 days after Hurricane Katrina's landfall and a couple of days after Typhoon Long Long, Islamabad did get an earthquake and 80,000 people were killed over there. And so please help me get my EQ alert theory out. There's nothing we can do for the people, 80,000 of them in Islamabad, or now upwards of 200,000 people in over in the region of Indonesia. And let's get the word out to enough people that in the future, when there's seismic energy headed for somebody, that the people will know that there's seismic energy heading for them, and that there might just be a major earthquake. And thank you for watching my video. I'm sorry if all the technical stuff wasn't as savvy as it probably could have been. I am to alert people. I've sent out alerts and official predictions, but I need you to help me. Whether it has to be studied, or we just have to have more people in the EQ alert group, or we need a like a weathercaster who can go on national TV and stand in front of a globe and say, here's where the seismic energy is going. And so maybe just weather, traffic, and that earthquake report might be what we need. We have to alert the people whenever there might be seismic energy heading for them. Again, do whatever you can do to help alert the people, and thank you for watching.